OK, joining me on the line now is Ian Davies. Ian is a trustee at the CornerHOUSE Theatre in Surbiton. Ian, how are you, first things first?
I'm really well, Henry, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ian. Now, of course, your role as a trustee, it kind of embeds a lot of things. Would you mind just telling us what kind of day-to-day things you do at the CornerHOUSE Theatre?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a trustee. I'm not an employee. I'm a volunteer, as everyone is who helps to run at the CornerHOUSE. My particular responsibility is to do with the infrastructure of the building, the bar, and in relation to this, called the volunteers. And so I have a wide-ranging brief as one of the trustees.
And in terms of the volunteers, am I right in saying you meet every Wednesday?
Some of the volunteers meet every Wednesday. They're the ones who get particularly involved in the maintenance of the building. But there's quite a large number of volunteers, probably at any one time about 50. And from this, we draw up rotas for various things. The volunteers who help with the maintenance do, yes, meet most Wednesdays. But then there are others who come in for performances, and they help with front of house or running the bar, and occasionally they work backstage. So there's a whole range of activities that volunteers do.
And in terms of those specific ones that meet on a Wednesday, as you said, there's a lot more involved. But so what kind of stuff do they do? Do they look after the kind of set? Do they kind of do a bit of work on props? What kind of stuff goes on?
On a Wednesday, we're looking at things literally from keeping the garden tidy to actually constructing sets. So there is that range of activities. Just recently, for example, people have been putting in hoops for bikes to be stored securely, but they've also been looking at the guttering, changing the set for a particular activity that was on, tidying up. There's always tidying up to be done in a multi-user place, and so they spend time doing that as well. I did some painting, a little bit of plumbing work, all manner of things like that.
And it's fantastic, as you say, all these volunteers working at the CornerHOUSE Theatre. It's brilliant how they kind of all chip in something. I want to talk now about, of course, the theatre itself, Ian. Now, the CornerHOUSE Theatre, I must say, I hadn't been to it until very recently when I saw Honour Amongst Thieves there, and it is such a fantastic little theatre, not far from Tolworth. Where did your involvement with the CornerHOUSE Theatre stem from? How long have you been involved?
I've been involved in various capacities since it started in 1995. In fact, the roots of the CornerHOUSE fall even earlier than that. There was an old hall in Ellison Road in Tolworth, Surbiton, and there my sons were in pantomime. And when that hall ceased to exist, it moved over to what had previously been St Matthew's Church Hall, and was turned into initially something called the Douglas Centre, which evolved into the CornerHOUSE. So I've been involved quite a long time. I've been a trustee, though, for probably about 15 years, I would think.
Now, Ian, I keep referring to it as, of course, the CornerHOUSE Theatre, the CornerHOUSE Arts Centre. That doesn't really do it justice, because, as we discussed before, there's so much that goes on at this particular venue. Do you want to tell us, of course, you've got the comedy that goes there, the shows themselves that go there. What other activities do people see at the CornerHOUSE Theatre?
There's a range of things which varies month to month, but if I list some of them now, we have, as you say, comedy. We have a very good relationship with a comedy promoter, so we get some amazing people down. Just last week we had James Acaster down.
Fantastic.
We're looking forward to Milton Jones coming down. Al Murray has just booked in pre-tour work-up. So there's a lot of that happens. A lot of big-name comedians come down and do that. But we also have amateur dramatics, often of a very high standard with people who are, in fact, professional actors, but like to try out their chops, as it were, in a smaller place. We have monthly arts exhibitions, craft workshops. We run a very active film club. Just this coming month, we've got an open mic session for young musicians to try things out. We've had master classes for professional musicians. We're working with an organisation called Kingston Arts. They're having a festival of the voice, so there's going to be some storytelling, and there's a cello recital coming up soon. Just a whole range of things, month on month.
I heard there's a fantastic pantomime that visits every year as well.
Yes, this is one of the sort of jewels in the crown every year, and it's been going on longer than the Corner House, as I said earlier. And each January, there's 6 performances, which are usually sold out, and it can be quite a surprising subject. Sometimes they've in the past done things like King Lear, the pantomime, which was really rather exceptional. There's been a few President Trump-related pantomimes recently, and this is a great opportunity for the community to come together. There's some children. In fact, there are 2 teams of children, so that the children aren't sort of worn out by the 6 performances. So they're 2 groups who alternate, and then various people right through to old stagers like me. I don't actually perform in the pantomime at the moment, but I do warm up beforehand, trying to get the audience to be cheering the action on. And so it's a really good thing. And each performance takes us up to our capacity of about 150. So you work that out, we're getting about 900 people in to see the pantomime.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Ian, of course, Dina Yates, who directed Honour Amongst Thieves, which came to the Corner House recently, she's put yourself and, of course, the volunteers at the Corner House up for a Queens Voluntary Service Award. I mean, how did you react when you found out that news?
I was so pleased to hear about this, because it's an award that I was unaware of, but it sounds that it's really absolutely resonates with the idea of the volunteering that goes on at the Corner House. There's virtually something happening there every day, and every single activity is supported solely by the work of volunteers. There are no paid staff at all, and to run an enterprise like this solely with volunteers is really quite exceptional. And I'm so thrilled that Dina has suggested that we might be eligible for something like that. It's great.
Well, Ian, I think the work yourself and the other volunteers do at the Corner House is absolutely brilliant. If you're listening to this in the kind of local area and you've been to the Corner House Theatre, then please do help Ian Davies and, of course, Dina with her application in supporting this, because I think, we can all agree they certainly deserve this, the Queen's Voluntary Award. Please do get in touch if you would like to support the application. Ian Davies, thank you very much for joining me on the line.
That's a pleasure.